الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by His grace and mercy, has brought us to a successful completion of this academic year. Obviously, there was much that we learned, many things that we did, and many experiences that we passed through over this year. And subhanAllah, time passes so fast, you don't realize that another year has already gone by. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enable us to use these precious days, months, and years of our lives so that they become a source of our scale of good deeds becoming weighty. And they open up doors for us to move closer and closer to success. However, even though the school year has come to an end and it is now time for vacations, holidays, it's time to relax and enjoy our time away from our schoolwork, away from the school environment. There are a few things that we should keep in mind. The first thing is that our deen is not something we do just when we're at school. This is not a way of life that we do because somebody is forcing it upon us, or somebody's forcing it upon us, or somebody's making us do certain things, so we do them. A Muslim is Muslim from inside. So we know that Islam has certain things that are part of its foundation. One of his last pieces of advice was guard your salah. Leaving this world, he was concerned about the condition of the salat of his ummah. When a person is in the throes of death, even if they are a prophet, it's an extremely painful process. It's an extremely difficult process. At that time, a person cannot think of anything or anyone. But the Prophet ﷺ was concerned for his ummah, and specifically two things. One was the salat. As-salah, as-salah, wa ma malakat aymanukum. And the second thing was those people that are put under you, those people that are working, for example, for you, make sure you treat them correctly. Make sure you look after those people. So we need to decide to go home today and have a plan in mind for how we're going to remain punctual. Sometimes the environment helps. Sometimes the environment doesn't help. Sometimes there are people around that will also be praying and it's easy to just go along. But sometimes you won't have someone to encourage you or to remind you. At that time you need to have this in your own system that, look, I need to pray my 5 prayers a day, no matter what's happening in the world, no matter what's happening in the house, no matter what's happening in my life. This needs to be a permanent and ongoing aspect of our lives. The Prophet ﷺ described salat as being that barrier, that last thing that differentiates, that separates a Muslim from a non-Muslim. Once salat is gone, there is nothing really separating them. Very little that is separating them. And the Prophet ﷺ emphasized this, telling us that a person who establishes their salat, looks after their salat, will be able to look after the rest of their deen. A person who becomes negligent in their salat is going to have to basically let go of the rest of their deen as well. So this is one thing. No matter what happens, no matter what's going on that day, no matter where we are, at home, outside, in the mall, in a park, traveling, regardless of where we are and what we're doing, we need to plan our salat as a part of that day and its activities. A person who doesn't plan for it isn't thinking about it. If you're not thinking about it, that means you've already become neglectful. And a Muslim cannot be neglectful of salat. So plan your day with salat as a part of the plan. Maybe I'll need to make wudu. Need to make sure I have those arrangements in place. Maybe I need to take a prayer mat with me. Maybe there will be a place where I'm going where I will be able to pray. If I'm on the road, where should I stop? And if your parents are taking you out, make sure you remind them that, look, these prayers will come along the way. What arrangements are we making? You know, just by your praying salat, sticking to salat, every single one of you could become a source of guidance for your own family members and for people outside. You have no idea how inspiring it is for a Muslim who might be far away from deen to see a youngster like themselves praying when it's time for salat. The salat is such a powerful thing. It's such a powerful message. You're not saying anything to anyone, yet you are saying so much. You can't ignore someone in the middle of a busy shopping center, at a bus stop, seeing that it's time for salat. Weather might have been bad, it might have been all kinds of circumstances, but they prayed. And it was a message of loyalty, that all my loyalties rest with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala before anything else. So that's one thing. The other thing is that holidays are definitely for relaxing, enjoying ourselves, taking it easy. But that is not a pass to walk away from our deen or to break the limits of deen. Whatever we do as Muslims, even if it's recreation, we do it within the limits of our deen. That's just who we are. The moment we start enjoying ourselves the way other people do who don't have our faith, we again remove that distinction between our faith and their lack of faith. Islam is not just certain beliefs that we study and then we say, oh yeah, okay, fine, I believe in one God and I believe in the prophets and I believe in the heavenly books and I believe on the day of judgment and so on and so forth. No, it's a life. It's a life that we live. Because we believe in one Allah, we obey and we submit to Him. Because we believe in the prophets, we follow the lifestyles and the teachings of the prophets. Because we believe in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we stick to his teachings. Because we believe in the day of judgment, we know we have to stand and give an account, so we don't want to do anything that's difficult to give an account for. Our beliefs are supposed to guide our actions. So never does there come a time on a Muslim where they say, oh, because I'm having fun, I can let go of my deen for a little while. It doesn't happen. If that is happening, it means that our iman has dropped so low that we're not able to stay within the limits that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set for humanity. And it means we're looking for happiness in something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forbidden. And remember that there is no such thing as happiness in what Allah has forbidden. There's no such thing. You can go looking for it all your life, crossing the boundaries that Allah has set. A person will find everything but happiness. This is why, as Muslims, we are careful about who we interact with, how we interact with them. We are careful about the way we use our gaze. This gaze is the first gateway to all kinds of dangerous possibilities. It's the gaze. It starts everything. It's what gets a person thinking. It's what increases the desire inside someone. It creates curiosity in some people. It creates intentions in some people. It creates all kinds of things, and a person starts planning around this. They might not even realize it, but plans are forming. And behind it, it's their improper use of their eyes. That they looked at something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had forbidden them, and they looked with an intention that was forbidden, and now their entire mind is affected by that glance. This is like one of the pipes of the reservoir becoming contaminated. All the water becomes contaminated. A person's thoughts now, they revolve around that. Their intentions revolve around that. Their plans revolve around it. Even their manner of speaking changes. Their activities revolve around that. Their usage of the internet will revolve around that. The usage of devices will revolve. Everything will revolve around this. And we know that it's a challenge to guard our gaze, especially during the summertime. But our eyes are in our own heads. We have control over them. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't tell us that when you come across something inappropriate, tell them to go away. No. When you come across something inappropriate, lower your gaze. Because that is in your control. Everyone has the power to lower their own gaze. If you do this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you will protect your honor, you will protect your reputation, you will protect your own dignity. So we may not be able to control what everyone else is wearing, for example, how they're displaying themselves and how they're behaving, but we are able to control where we go, and we are able to control what we look at. And it's something that requires practice. It doesn't just happen. Because the normal thing is when you go out, you just look at whatever is out there. But a Muslim is wiser than that. Their mind is far ahead of that. They're not just walking around like spectators in this world. For them, every minute is either a means of getting closer to Allah or a means of getting further away from Allah. So these are all things that need to be thought of. It's because improper use of gaze that improper interactions happen. And then it leads to greater problems. So these are a few things for us to think about. Go and have a good time. Give rest to your bodies. Get exercise to your bodies. Get good sleep. Enjoy time with the people you love. By all means, do all of that. But keep these few guidelines in mind. Inshallah, it will not compromise your happiness. It will not compromise how enjoyable your vacations are. In fact, it will make it more enjoyable. We are Muslims for life. We are Muslims till our last breath. We love Allah and we submit to Allah until we die. We start practicing that now. Think of everything you learned during the year as training season. And think of the summer holidays as competition season. That's the season where the competition is on. Whatever you've learned is going to be put to the test when you step into the field. Summer holidays are the arena. Basketball player trains in the off season. Whatever training they have gone through, it's put to the test the moment they step into that court. What they're able to do. Same thing happens in cricket, in baseball, in soccer, in whatever sport it is. All of that off-season training is for that field. It's for that court. The training is not just so that you do the right thing at school. It's so that you do the right thing in your lives. And that's what we are here to learn. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from all vices and evils. And may Allah azza wa jal give us the tawfiq, give us the ability to use our time, our bodies, our resources in the best way possible. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make these holidays a means of us getting even closer to Him. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة